Hi everyone. By this time in the learning path, you should have completed all 5 of the modules on the Fundamental 5. And if we were doing this training in person, we would spend the first half of the day on learning the modules and discussing and talking about them, which is what you showed in your micro courses. And the afternoon, we'd spend looking at lesson plans and trying to figure out how we can fit that in and it become a habit in how we plan on a regular basis. So for those of you that are online, what you're going to do for this activity in order to get the 2.5 hours credit is to pick a unit of study, something that you know you will study in the upcoming school year, and write out the fundamental 5 things. Now, this looks like a lot, and you're probably thinking, I have to do that, and the lesson plan. Well, this is part of the lesson plan, and once you get the hang of it, you won't have to write everything down all the time. You'll just have, a basket of tricks that you use on a regular basis to get your students to frequent small group talk. You'll get in the habit of having your kids write critically. So you won't necessarily have to fill out this type of document all of the time. I do recommend consistently seeding your questions ahead of time. Otherwise, we, forget to ask the questions and we don't put them in and allow the kids to talk about them. When I was in the classroom, I always added them to my slides so that after we went through some information, the question would be there and it would be a reminder to me of what I wanted my students to do. So just a little example of what you'll be doing. So when you open up, this is your module. This is what you'll fill out. And here's an example on the second page so that you can see one that's filled out. These are the objectives in student-friendly language. This is, the closing task. So just looking at the first one, we will read an essay independently and respond to text and writing. And then what we want the students to do at the end of that lesson is to write an interpretive response to the essay using text evidence to support their response. As we read the article that they're going to be reading or the essay, then I would have the students pause and answer questions. So explain what details in the essay you found interesting and why. Gives them the opportunity to talk to each other, pull some information from the text to prepare them for the response they'll write later. What is the author's central message in this essay? So again, talking about that. Because the students would be spending some time reading on their own and annotating, for this particular day, I only had 2 questions, but I'd really, on a normal basis, you'll see I usually had 3. So, and then I put, the strategies that we could use to be sure they are frequent small group talk. What activity are we going to do to write critically? And then what is it that I want to look to reinforce this week? And, looking back on that module, it could be, a bit procedure, it could be, participation, whatever it is that you as the teacher want to be looking for and reminding yourself to recognize and reinforce. So you'll do this for 10 days of a unit. If you see right here, you can click and create a copy of this document. So then you can share it, share the link to turn it in to get credit. Or you can design your own. You don't have to use this one, but just, we do want to see all of the components of Fundamental 5 in order for you to apply your understanding of the concepts and to see that it's really not that difficult and it's a good idea for lesson design. Thanks. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to pogl@rcisd.org or lisa.pogue at rcisd.org, and that's POGUE.